Are now live. All right, so it's
Okay, and then
oh, and then
I
let
need to
me
go live over here.
yeah, let me add you in.
Okay, it
I,
says we are live.
so I just invited you on Instagram.
Okay.
So I just invited you on Instagram.
The invite went away. So this is probably why people be having headphones and stuff.
Uh,
Can you hear?
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Something got to mute.
Um, because if I mute you,
Ooh, that sounds crazy. it's on
okay.
your
So
end.
let's do this. I'm just gonna scrap the what's this the StreamYard for
Okay,
now.
okay.
Yeah,
And get on
because
Instagram.
I'm just stopping.
All right, yeah, because that shit sound hella crazy.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram right now. Oh well, I haven't been able to
Join.
Yeah, I haven't been able to join yet.
All right, I just re-invited you.
There we go.
What's up, Armani? We getting it together. Give us a minute. We trying to get it together. I don't know why the invite keep going away. Hi, Caroline. Okay, let's try it. See if this works. Come on, Instagram. Don't do this today. Couple of naturals. What's up? We trying to get it together. Oh my God, this is so ghetto. Instagram, y'all suck. Okay, accept. Mm.
Finally. Oh my
Finally.
God.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes, I can see.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God. It was so weird because I would accept the join request and then it would be like a black screen, like a whole black screen. I didn't even see myself. A completely black
Oh,
screen. And then
hi. Hey, Queenie.
it'll
Queenie just joined. Hey,
I,
Queenie. Oh my God. Queenie. Okay. Let's what's up, Yaz? All right, let's get
yeah,
started. So we had
funny, so
we
I
had
was just
some
like, it was like 12 minutes of technical
I know
difficulties.
technical difficulties a little bit, but we here and we gonna get started. So this week we're gonna talk about energetic boundaries, and I feel like energetic boundaries they go together because boundaries isn't like a physical thing; it's a very energetic thing. And I'm just gonna like share my experience of like learning what energetic boundaries are and how I have applied it in my life, and then I'll let you jump in, Naima. So basically, I've learned that boundaries are key on your like spiritual journey. Not even on your spiritual journey, but just in life. I feel like there's a part inside of you. I call it like it's like a house. It's like your internal house. And it's where you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you can like get naked energetically and like not have to worry about being hurt or abused or anything where nothing outside of you can hurt you. It's like your safe space. Just like when you have a house, like you're protected from the outside. You
Right.
have an internal house as well. And you can't just let any and everybody in and out of your house. Like they can't come, some people come in, they come in with their dirty feet, which is like their pains, their insecurities, their just the things that they have experienced in life. And coming in and out of your house can sometimes be dangerous. So I've learned that you have to set boundaries for yourself because it protects your energy. And you only, I guess for me, the ultimate goal is to be so comfortable in myself to where I don't really have to set as many boundaries, to where I can like 100%, be comfortable and grounded in myself to where I don't really have to worry about it. But I've learned over time that I have to set boundaries. I have to have time to myself in solitude. There are certain things that I do not like. So I have to express that like this is something that I don't like. That's when you're setting a boundary. You're setting a you're letting people know that this is how far I want you to go at this time. This is what I feel comfortable with. This is how far I feel comfortable with you going. Like going back to the analogy, I just want you in my yard right now. I'm not comfortable for you coming all the way in my house. Because I don't want you all the way in my house. I may not be comfortable with inviting you in. And sometimes you only invite family all the way in your house, or you only invite people that you're in relationships with all the way in your house. And then even if they get in the house, you may not want them in your room, So it's like levels to boundaries. And having those boundaries and setting those boundaries and making sure that you're able to express those boundaries keeps that internal space that you have, it keeps it intact. Because if you allow people to get too close and they come in, it's like they come into your house and they're like, I don't like this, I want to rearrange this and I want to move this around. And it just kind of causes disarray energetically within yourself. So you have to set, am I making sense?
Yeah.
You have to like set those boundaries, because I feel like I'm rambling. You have to like set boundaries to make sure
This is a
that
safe space to ramble, babe. It's really good. Ramble. Because rambling helps you
get
get
it
it out. Like, especially
out. Yeah.
if you're talking about this for the first time, like out loud, there's going to be some rambling. It just is what it
And
is. What it
to be honest, this is the first time I think I've like out loud explained what boundaries are. Like I know what boundaries are. I know how to set boundaries, but it's like I don't think I've actually sat down to like what does boundaries actually mean to me, like as a definition.
So
So
it's like you're getting clarity as you're speaking
as
it.
I'm
So that's why,
speaking it,
yeah.
yeah. So one thing, okay, I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna ground myself a little bit. One thing I know about that's a boundary for me is that I need my personal solitary space. So, like my friends are asking me, like when I move to LA or I move to these big cities, like, are you gonna get a roommate? And I'm like, no, I can never. At this point in my life, I can't do roommates because when I'm out, I'm an extrovert and an introvert. So I'm out and about, like I'm interacting with people. I'm always like very engaged with the world, and it gets to a point where I started to reach this boundary where I'm like, all right, I need to retreat. I need to go get in my own space because if I continue to allow my energy to spread out in the world and give my energy to the world, um, the other side of Justin is gonna come in, and that side is like everybody back the fuck up off of me, or I'm gonna fucking chop your throat off. I'm gonna cut your neck. I'm gonna fucking spit fire at your ass. So I've learned that okay, you need some your social battery is getting low, and you need to go recharge. So that's when I go into my space, and like and I think me and you were talking about this, Naima. If I overdo it, I just like shut down. Like I won't answer my phone calls. I won't answer my text messages. I won't go outside because I know I overexerted myself with giving out my energy. So I've learned to like get those triggers of my boundary of like, all right, it's time for me to retreat a little bit and find like a balance so that I won't go so hermit mode on people. Because sometimes they don't understand like what's wrong with you, like what's going on.
Yeah.
We heard from you in a few days because people do care about you and they want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But when I'm in that mode, like none of that registers. I'm just like, I need my own space. I don't care about the outside world right now.
Which makes
So
sense why you said you can't do roommates, because you need your place of solitude. Like you need to come home and decompress and really
mhm,
enjoy that alone time that you require. So it
exactly.
makes total sense. If you're an extrovert on the outside, like you out and about, whether that's like out doing spiritual stuff or just out
Hmm.
being like friendly and having a good
Hmm.
time, you need to have a place of solitude, and having a roommate can like really disrupt that, because now you have to
Exactly.
be considerate of what time you walking in. Are you making too much noise? Are they sleeping? And when you want to just
Hmm.
decompress, you don't want to be worried about all
Hmm.
of that. So yeah,
Hmm.
I get it.
And Yas
Yeah.
made a good point. That is very much so Libra energy. I have a Libra moon.
She
So
did say that.
even though I'm an Aries, like I have a Libra moon, and that Libra moon will kick the fuck in. Like you gotta balance this shit out, bro, because
Mhm.
it's not about to go like you think it's about to go if you don't. So what about you, Naima? Like what's your experience with setting boundaries and having boundaries in your life?
You see that, you know, that emoji he be looking
Yo,
like,
you hard.
oh my gosh. I I am new. I'm 38 years old, but I am so new to setting boundaries.
You
I lived my
38,
entire
Naima?
life. Yes, I'm
Damn,
38,
I know you was
1985.
38.
Yes,
You look good, girl. Let me find out. All this time I didn't know that.
yes. And
Period.
so I'm just like, I'm really new to this. I spent my whole life basically setting a boundary was non-existent. Like nobody ever talked about that. I never grew up. Let's take it back all the way to childhood. Like there was no such thing as a boundary. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
ever remember anybody talking about it. I don't even remember hearing nobody say respect my privacy. Like
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't that's a boundary. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was none of that talk growing up. So you can only imagine the relationships that I have gone through, both friendship, intimate, family, all of
Mm-hmm.
it alike, where because there's a lack of a boundary, there's just no like, how do I say, like, I don't even want to say like, not like, well, not respecting, kind of like not fully respecting myself, my wants and my needs. Like
Yeah.
it didn't matter. And the way that translated into like my relationships in my adult life, it was just like I didn't set a standard on how I want to be treated,
Mm-hmm.
and how I expect, to be like dealt with and handled with, and then on top of that, certain conversations are just not had, like
Mm-hmm.
because of poor boundaries. And so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until I started to do the work on myself, both spiritually and with the therapist, because at one
Mm-hmm.
point I got to a point in my life where so my ex, because this is one of those relationships that really catapulted my spiritual growth. So it served, as much pain and hurt that I went through, it served a purpose, and I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't have no ill will or bad or regret any of that, because it really served a purpose, into me stepping into the role of a spiritual being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when it came to that, it got to the point where I was like, okay, well, he don't want to do the counseling. I know I'm not perfect, so I'm gonna start. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy how my spiritual work and seeing a therapist kind of like started around the same time. It's
Mm-hmm.
so interesting, now that I'm saying it out loud, and it's a beautiful synergy too. Like the both of those pieces work together like in such a beautiful way. I mean, that's another story for another day. But anyhow, that is when I started to learn about boundaries, because during my spiritual work, I started realizing like, okay, these are some patterns that like
Mm-hmm.
don't make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started seeing my therapist, she talks about boundaries and codependency. So you see how it like goes
Mm.
together. Like these things coming up in my spiritual work, but I don't necessarily have like the professional stuff on the other end to kind of
Right.
like, oh, that's what that is.
Connect
That's a poor
it.
boundary. I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, now fast forward, and now I'm in a spiritual path, and I'm learning things from a perspective of energy and vibration
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
frequency, right? So when it comes to energetic boundaries, this is something that I'm glad we're talking about this, because it's making me think. So a few years back, I was hanging out with some people, and I noticed that everybody that I talk to or interact with, it was like what they would call an energy vampire. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm like pouring all this like high vibrational stuff into them, but it's like they want to keep coming to me like with the low bullshit. And I didn't at the time. I didn't know what the hell an energy vampire was, and there
Talk about
clearly
it.
needed to be like a boundary set, because even though we cool and we friends, you draining the hell out of me
Yes.
right now with all this
Yes.
stuff, and it's like when I get home, I'm the hella super tired, and I ain't even do nothing
Yes.
but have a conversation with you. Like,
Yes.
so that's something to think about too. Like when it comes to like setting boundaries, but I love the fact that when you have a strong boundary in place, this is even to someone who is established on their spiritual path. Like you might have now you're an established like spiritual
Mm-hmm.
practitioner, right? And you have friends, your circle is different, you have friends, everybody
Mm-hmm.
kind of know what you do,
Mm-hmm.
but yet they not respecting your space, and they feel entitled like, oh, you need to give me a reading, or you need to,
Mm-hmm.
tell me what's going on, like, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. And it's like, hold up, boundary, like, I'm not available for this at this time. If you want to go have some tea real quick and we could kiki, okay, but I'm not about to go full blown reading out of nowhere just
Yes.
because you know that's what I do. So
Yes.
like that's another, you know what I'm saying, that's another thing that needs to be like set when we talk about these energetic boundaries, like.
So you know what? I'm glad you talked, because as you was talking about it, I was thinking about this. Um, so I remember when I didn't know what boundaries were, and I was, like you said, I didn't know. It made me think about that. Like when I didn't know boundaries, what boundaries were, and I can
Mhm.
look back and see that it was like I didn't know where, when it came to me being in relationship with other people, I didn't know where I ended and they began. It was just like all one thing. It's just like
Mhm.
I was fully open when I connected with somebody or a group of people. I was so open energetically just because I didn't know. It was just like I was just falling into like losing myself into other people. And that happened a lot when I got into like intimate relationships and friendships. Like I would find myself um starting to basically turn into them
Mm.
um as I was like entering into, before I like start entering into my spiritual journey, I would like kind of transform into people because I didn't set certain boundaries. So I would catch myself like kind of falling into their realm. And I did
Mm.
that because I'm such an adventurous person. Like I have that 5 energy, I have that Aries energy. I The reason why I love connecting with people is because everybody's their own world, they're their own universe. So it's like I have a chance to like tap into somebody else's universe, but it's a fine line with that because you can lose yourself into other people and then you forget
Mhm.
who you are. So when I started getting into my spiritual journey, because this even happened with my like spiritual mentors, I started like turning into them basically, because I was like, I wanted to learn what they learned. I wanted to know what they knew and like tap into what they were tapped into. And as I mature in as a person and also spiritually, I learned the importance of number one, knowing who you are and being grounded in yourself. Because that's how I always think about that analogy of like you were talking about, like, and we gonna tap into the reading, being spiritual
Mhm.
and then having boundaries as well. But I noticed that all my life, before I even knew anything about spirituality or energy or vibes or anything, I realized how comfortable people are coming to me and like sharing their most deepest secrets.
Mm.
Like it's something about my energy that makes people comfortable, and
Mm.
they'll express themselves. And I invite that because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm honored that you were able to do that. So yeah, tell me or whatever. But then, like you said, they'll start pulling and pulling and pulling. And the analogy I always think about is they said that when someone's in a hole and you're out of the hole, they want you to come down in the hole with them,
Mm.
and you're supposed to put a ladder and allow them to come up there with you instead of going down in the hole with them. And I realized a lot of the times I was going down in the hole with them, and then I would
Mm.
look up like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
Like now my life is fucked up. Now I'm going through all the shit that they were telling me about in the beginning. Like basically their issues started becoming my
Oh,
issues because I was susceptible to their energy.
yeah.
I started becoming what they were talking to me about all the time. So bringing
You
it,
be like you became like a
yeah,
sponge. You like it's soaking
I
up
was
all that
exactly like just
stuff.
soaking it all up because I had no boundaries
Yeah.
between them and me. So now, now bring it fast forward that now I'm more established in myself. I'm more secure and grounded in who I am, and I offer um, not only spiritual counsel but just counsel to people in general, where I can channel. That's also a gift because I can tap into other people's energy enough to find the answer that they need to
Mm.
hear. So it's like now it has to be reciprocity. I learned that it has to be some type of reciprocity. So that's why I charge for readings. It's not because I need the money. Of course, I want the money. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna turn down money, but it's like I'm using my energy to go inside of your energy
Yeah.
to find it or tap into your energy, your spirit guides, your ancestors to find out the answer to what you already know. You just can't find it because you're caught up in your own stuff. And then come back in my energy and grind myself back down and then wipe off whatever energy you had
Mhm.
going on. All of that is
That's a
work,
lot of work.
baby.
Yeah.
So it's like if I do all of that and you give me nothing, that that leaves me drained. So
Yeah.
if you giving me an exchange money or you giving me an exchange, it could be it's almost like the barter system. Like you can have a service. Like I've given people readings and they've done photography for me,
Yeah.
or
It's
done
the
headshots for me or something like that.
exchange of it
It's an
all.
exchange.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
noticed that when that happens, I won't feel drained because there's an energy exchange, and that's one of my
Yeah.
boundaries. There has to be a reciprocity. There has to be an energy exchange. I'm not, and that's also that Libra energy, is
Mm.
that it's about fairness and balance. Because if I give you something and I give it out of my heart, and not it don't have to always be tit for tat, but there's like this balance in my head where I can always kind of gauge where if I'm giving too much energetically, I can feel I'm giving too much to this person and they haven't given me anything in return,
Mm.
or I need to like pull away from this person because I can see that they just want, like you said, the energy vampires, they just want to pull and don't want to
Yeah.
give anything.
Yeah.
So that all of that is like so important with boundaries, because you can lose all of the energy. You can build up some. This is what I've learned. You can build yourself up to be energetically, be so powerful, so connected, so much positive energy. And a person with negative energy can come into your life and latch themselves to you and pull all of that out of you. And they'll be, because this has happened to me in relationships. They'll be successful,
Yeah.
they'll start popping, their energy start vibing high, and then your energy starts vibing low because they're sucking it out of you.
Yeah.
I've experienced
That's a
that.
vampire for
I've
real.
experienced that.
Damn.
And then it's like I had to turn around and like
And rebuild
rebuild myself.
yourself, huh?
So
Yeah.
for me specifically, and I think this is a general rule for everybody, but for me specifically, especially with that Libra energy, and I had to set boundaries. And because I'm so giving, I'm such a giving person. Like I love giving to people, and I have to remind myself, like, you got to get something in exchange. Like, you can't just keep giving like this, giving out your. You can't keep pouring. Queenie, shout out to Queenie that jumped in the. I don't know if she's still here, but she jumped in there. Queenie said you can't pour out of your cup until it's full. You have a
Right.
saucer at the bottom, and let the people get what's flowing out of your cup. Let them get what's in the saucer, but don't you pour nothing out that and make your cup empty.
Right.
Don't you pour nothing out of your cup. You let them catch the overflow.
Oh, I
Shout out to
love
Queenie because
that.
that hit
I
me.
love that. Let them catch the overflow. I love that. And it makes me think of the Ace of Cups because it's like an overflow, the overflow
Yes,
with the wine.
yes,
Like, oh, that's a beautiful. That's a mental note.
yeah,
Keep
yeah,
that in there.
yep. Shout out to Queenie. Shout out to Queenie.
Yeah.
But one thing that we were actually discussing earlier was we both, well, Naima put me on the interview that Monique did with Club Shay Shay. Is it Club Shay
Oh,
Shay? Is
yeah.
that the name
That was
of it?
so good.
um,
That was so good.
First of all, I love Monique, but one of the things that Monique, she's like on this thing lately is about how unfair she was treated by Oprah and Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels. And I'm not really into celebrity gossip or news a lot like that, but like I was saying, like I was telling you, Naima, sometimes I do look at it to like study. It's like you can see the energy of like what's happening compared to what's in the stars, and like the energy of people and what they're going through and how they, because celebrities are just doing is regular energy, but it's like heightened because they have so
Yeah.
much money and fame and stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Monique was talking about is that she's not budging when it comes to her being unfairly treated monetarily because she's a black fat woman, basically, is what she said.
Yeah.
Um, and she knows that she has the resume and the accolades and the talent. She needs to get paid accordingly.
Right.
That's a boundary.
Yes.
That's a
Absolutely.
boundary.
Standing up for yourself and standing firm
Firm.
and standing up for yourself is an amazing and beautiful boundary to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like top tier.
Yes. Yes.
Like, because people who have poor boundaries, like I can attest to this because this is who I was in the past. Like, I didn't stand up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would not speak up just to avoid conflict. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's like one of a prime example of like piss poor boundaries. I hate to say piss poor, but I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so yeah, absolutely.
Um, and like one thing I like, and we were talking about this, Naima, that Monique talked about and stand for was her values.
Mhm.
And even though she's, wanted to be paid fairly, she was just kind of talking about how a lot of people sell out for money. And I just had a conversation with my friend. She had a job at she got a job at like a very, very prevalent restaurant. Like they made big tips, big money, like stuff like that. And the manager of the restaurant was very nasty towards his employees and like
Okay.
just really like talking down to them and just really nasty attitude towards them. And she was just starting the job. She's like, yo, like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And she was just saying, like, a lot of people was just continuously taking that because they was making a lot of money.
Mhm.
And she was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on this because she chose her value over money. She
Yeah.
could have been sitting there making hella tips, hella money, and I'm sure she probably needed it, but she chose her values. And that's one thing that shout out to Sister Myra, like that her what she was
Teach.
teaching about
Yeah.
this past lecture was that people's values are changing. They're like tapping into their true values of who they are, which is going back to the boundary. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to talk to me any type of way
Mhm.
just because you're paying me.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's a little bit of money or if it's a lot of bit of money. I'm not going to allow you to talk
Yeah.
down to me. And we were just talking about that energy of like in Hollywood where I mean, I I can see that energetically how much a lot of people have allowed their values to be sold. So it's like, I'll let you do anything to me for $1.
Mm.
Give me $1 and I'll let you violate me energetically, mentally, physically, whatever you want to do.
And
Just
for the
pay me.
Black
Give me some
community,
money.
it wasn't even so much about the dollar. It was so much of what Monique was saying, having a seat
At
at
the
the table.
table.
Just by being here, you should be grateful. Because
Yes.
with the whole thing about going to promote a movie, but it's not. She's not what is it contractually obligated to go promote a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But you want me to just go do it? Well, give me the money. They don't want to give me the money, so you want me to go work for free? You know, so
Right.
it's like, yeah, that's crazy. Definitely, I see the whole, my values have changed. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
so like focused on my spiritual growth and
Mm-hmm.
maintaining like a vibrational mindset, high
Mm-hmm.
vibrational mindset. You know what's so funny is that since I've become, I know this is a little, I digress a little bit, but since I've become a mom, right? Everything is a song. Like I always say something in song format to my baby. I was like, let's go take a bath. Let's go take a bath. You know, something, everything is in a song. Let's get dressed. Give me a shoe,
Oh,
something.
that
And
is
so I
so
say
cute.
this because one of my uh things that I'm like actively working through to overcome and get better at is the
Mm-hmm.
internal chatter, right?
Mm.
And so this internal chatter is not so much the inner critic, it's more about like hypothetical situations that will never happen. Like it's like I'm in my head, I'm going off on somebody about some shit that ain't gonna never happen. Like, why
Right,
am I
right.
having this? But I already know why. You know why? Because I'm about to bring this shit right back around. It's because the piss poor boundaries that I've set,
Yes.
that I've had in the
Yes.
past, and all the many a times that I wanted to speak up for myself and not,
Mm-hmm.
walk away from
Yep.
a situation and
Yep.
like, oh man, I should have said da 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 da. So there's this, it's this entity that lives inside my head
Mm-hmm.
that is like, we're gonna have this kind of argument today, and I'm gonna show the person how they're not gonna walk over me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes. Yes.
so with me actively working on keeping a higher vibration, I had this song come in and says, "We're not gonna think like that. We're not gonna think like that."
I love it. I'm gonna use that.
And
I'm gonna use that.
I shifted so fast, and it was just so funny because it made me think. I don't know if you heard Professor Melanie's video. She did like a live last night. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't
I
catch
heard
it,
it.
but I caught the replay today.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing where she talks about the easiest way to shift is through gratitude,
Yep.
and I live by that 100%. So when I had that thing in my head, it was like. It was kind of like, okay, you need to shift. And it was like, we're not going to think like that.
I go
We're not going to think like
do that.
that. Immediately because I was like, why am I having this? Like, why is this going on right now? So it just made me think about what you said about Sister Myra and how
Mm-hmm.
our values are changing. I'm just circling it
Mm-hmm.
back, like
Mm-hmm.
maintaining a high vibrational space and a state of mind is so important, especially
Mm-hmm.
with all the bullshit that's
Mm-hmm.
going on in this world. Like to me,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of having a strong energetic boundary. Like I'm not about to let the shit that's going on with the
Mm-hmm.
politics, the poor
Mm-hmm.
politics in LA and all this stuff going. I'm not about to let that impact
Yeah.
me in any way. Yeah,
Sink
because
into
it
your energy.
will bring me down. 'Cause then
Yep.
what? I'm mad at somebody, some people who ain't got nothing to do with
Let's do
me.
with you.
They broke the law. That's on them. Ain't got nothing to do with me in this circle right here. You know. So it's like
Exactly.
I'm not about to get mad. I'm about to just not gonna think like
Like
that.
that.
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
gonna
think.
think like that. Yes, I'm using that. No, you know what's crazy? Brother Panic always talks about this. Is like you're actually reprogramming your mind
Mm.
because number one, you're using repetition. You're
Um,
saying I'm not gonna think like that. I'm not gonna think like that. So that's repetition. You're reprogramming your mind, and then you're using music because Brother Panic also
okay.
talked about how music is like what did he say? It's the frequency of the music, like you're making music that also it's a symbol, so
Oh,
that's like also reprogramming your mind. So without you even knowing it, like spiritually you're programming your mind. And that you saying that I'm not gonna think like that, that's a boundary. You're telling your own mind like we're not
ooh.
thinking like that,
Yeah.
because it's all like actually starting to tie together. What I'm realizing is that like, okay, you have that part of you that's like pure, how you see yourself, like your highest self, and then you just gather all these energies throughout the, interacting with people who have maybe low vibrational energies, experiences that weren't so good, and then you kind of take that in, and that becomes a part of your thought process. These are experiences that you go through,
Mm-hmm.
and then that part of you that's like pure, and these experiences are coming, you have to set those boundaries, like, nah, yeah, I went through that experience, but it helps me. So we're not gonna think like, just because this happened to me, I'm lower, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worthy because this happened to
Yeah.
me, or I'm not good enough because this happened to me or that happened to me. That is a boundary. The chakra freak, gratitude is a boundary. These are things that are protecting your higher version of
Right.
yourself. And the more you set those boundaries, the more you clean up your house, get
Mm-hmm.
all the crap out of your house that you've gathered over the years, and organize your house to be good energy, the more you'll become that person. And then you won't allow, and then on another level, and this is what I've learned too. When you start setting energetic boundaries, real energetic boundaries, people can't even reach you.
Right. You're right about that.
They can't get close to you physically, and they can't even see you. I've experienced this shit too, where people like couldn't even see me, like physically see me. And that's one of the things that it talks about in my totem book, like the ability to be invisible.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Okay, go. I'm gonna make
Go,
sure
go, go,
I
go, 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 go,
no,
go, go, go.
you just said something that reminded me of a dream. I was like, why did I have this? And you literally right now just kind of like answered it. So I had
Talk
a
about it.
dream. I had a dream. It was like it was like a forest, right? And then I can see this white lamb, this little white lamb at this tree. And this tree looked like a gigantic, like it looked like scary, like a scary tree,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then these wolves just came out of nowhere, but they didn't see the lamb. They just kept right past the lamb.
Mm-hmm.
It was because the lamb was like cloaked to them in some kind of way, but
Yes,
energetically, like you know what I'm
yes,
saying? Like
yes.
they didn't see the lamb because they low vibrational energy could not touch the lamb. And I understand, like when we talk about animals and like wolves, that's a different spirit. Of course, the lamb is a
Right,
different type of spirit as far as what
right.
it means energetically. But in this sense,
In
we
that
know that a
context,
wolf will eat the
the
fucking
lamb.
beat the shit out of the lamb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In that sense, we know that the wolf will eat the lamb. So
Yes,
I'm just trying to
yes.
be clear because we know the energy of a wolf is strong
Right,
and all
right,
that
right,
stuff.
right,
But we
right,
ain't
right,
talking about
right.
that.
No,
We talking about predator and
in that
prey.
symbol. Yes, 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 for sure. No, that's crazy because then you saying that even reminded me of what Sister Myra talked about, is that she said our what did she say? Was it our like confidence or our like spiritual connection is our lamb's blood. So, and I think she was talking about like Passover. You know how they put the lamb's
With
blood over it so
the
that,
door.
so that it won't get, like, I guess the spirit won't like take somebody. I don't know exactly how that shit goes, but
It made me
I
think
kind
of
of know
yeah,
that
yeah. That's what it
it,
means. Like they
yeah.
put you mark of the lamb, like you put the lamb's blood across the door or something, and the
And then the
spirit
spirit
don't
of
come
death
in.
won't come
That
to
can
your
take
house.
yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that's like saying the same thing, like Sister Myra was saying, like the lamb, that's your lamb's blood, like vibrating high and knowing that knowing that you're fine, knowing that you're good. That's your lamb's blood. You're protected from any low vibrational energies because, like I said, when you're vibrating high, it's just, and Professor Melanie talks about that all the time, like when you're vibrating high, you just don't experience certain things. You don't
Right.
experience certain people. Like
It's
when
not
you
in your
happy,
field. It's not in your
she was,
field.
it's
Yeah.
not in your field. She was just talking
Yeah.
about that. Like when you super happy, like everybody you meet, they happy, and like you're invisible to low vibrational energies. That's a boundary.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's like that. I'm learning how important boundaries are, not only between your relationship with the world, but also your relationship with yourself. Because just like you were saying,
Absolutely.
these battles that you have in your head, of things that are trying to like pull you down based off of your experiences, you got to set boundaries in there too. So it's
Yeah.
like, and I think we were talking about this last week, like it's a whole universe of shit going on in your fucking head. Like, so it's like you, what I'm learning and I'm starting to like incorporate in my meditation is building my house. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a house, like how I want my house to look. And when I go into meditation, I go into that house. And then I don't know if y'all saw Griselda. I'm kind of like I like Griselda Blanca. I think she was like the baddest
Who
bitch
is that?
ever, like one of the baddest
Who is
bitch.
that? I don't know
She
who
so
she is.
she she's like she basically like sold drugs, but she became like this kingpin,
Wait, is she
like this
a
godmother.
reality show or
No,
is
this
it
is
a
like
documentary?
real life, but they made a movie, they made a Netflix special off of her, Griselda Blanca.
Oh,
But
okay,
she became like one of the top. You know, how you have like the drug kingpins. Like she was like on the top of that shit as a woman.
okay.
So I was watching. They just did a Netflix series about it, and I was watching it. But one thing that she did was she had a house. Like she had this big house. You know, when she started making the money and shit. And she got all these like immigrants that came from Cuba. She had like hundreds of them like on her team because she was like getting them over into the United States and like giving them money and stuff and like getting them established. So they basically looked at her like a
They were
godmother, like a
loyal
god.
to her.
But
Yeah.
she had them like surrounding her house. Like nobody could get to her house because she had to like she had so much bad blood with like people, other people that was like selling drugs. Like they was trying to get her, they was trying to take her out because she was taking out their business.
Mm.
But she had so many people around her house with like guns, like ready, like come up if you want to, we gonna fucking kill your ass. That's that's what I'm starting to like see in I'm in my house and my like guardians are like those people around my
Yeah.
house. Like nothing low vibrational can get into my house because it's people with guns all around the house. You can't get in from up, down, left, or right. That's a boundary.
I love that.
And if you stay in that space, and I'm working on like connecting with that, even when I'm not in meditation. So it's like even when I'm out and about in the world, I'm still in that space. So nobody can
Yeah.
really like shake me. You know what I mean? Like nobody can't say anything because even if they say something towards me that I may not like, that's not who I am.
Yeah, your
That's not. I'm not
perception
allowing that.
yeah, your perception, like because you are so like up here, so to speak, as far
Mm-hmm.
as like your vibrational state,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the way you're gonna perceive it is not going to cause like a low, a low vibe type of reaction, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it won't bother
Exactly.
you because you see it
Exactly.
from a space of like, okay, like they're lost. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? They lost. They out here in these streets lost. They don't know what's going on.
Basically.
Like, yeah.
Basically. So yeah, boundaries are it. And like just to even go back to the in the totem deck, in my totem deck, the armadillo
Mhm.
is representative of boundaries. And it's like the armadillo has this shell and it like when it's in danger, it like wraps itself up and covers up in that shell. And
Mhm.
like nothing can penetrate that shell. Like predators can't bite through it. Like nobody can get to the armadillo when the shell is covering its body.
Mm.
And that just always like reminds me of that's my safe space, you know, inside of me energetically. That's where I'm safe. I can always cloak myself
Yeah.
in a
I
boundary
love
and nothing can
that.
affect me,
Mm.
you know. And if something did, there's some space, of course, you know, shadow work, but there's some space where I allowed that energy to come in and
Mm.
trigger.
That's an area. Um, it's so the purpose because that's an area where you now need to grow
Mm-hmm,
and level up in.
exactly.
Like the whole healing journey is never ending.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can heal from something and this perspective of it, but it'll come right back to you, the same exact thing, but there's like another layer to the healing. So
Yeah,
you don't even respond to it the way that you would have, but now you see like, oh, this is another piece of that I need to heal from, so
yeah.
it's like,
Deeper
yeah,
level. It's a
a
deeper level.
deeper level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows
Mm-hmm.
your growth, your leveling up, because now
Right.
the way you perceived it and dealt with it is completely different than what you would have before, you know? So
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, boundaries. I mean, it's key. I feel like it's key because the more spiritual you get, the more higher you vibrate. I feel like the more brighter you shine,
yeah.
the more people will be attracted to you because I noticed that in as a whole, I feel like a lot of people are going through it, especially when they're not spiritually connected and they don't really understand the energy of what's happening in the world. They are going through it. And, you know, these
Yeah.
labels of like, you know, depression and anxiety and, you know, all these labels of illnesses that they think that they have and they don't even understand the energetic or the emotional or mental, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't understand that the reason that they're feeling these anxieties and fears and stuff is because of thoughts and energies that they have inside of themselves. So they just basically
Hmm.
think that, oh my God, this is who I am. Like it ain't nothing I can do about it. So when they see someone walking down the street that's a spiritual being that's shining so bright, their energy so great, they instantly want to like, oh my God, like I want to be your friend. Like come here, please. Like your
Yeah.
energy feels so good. You feel so much at peace. You
Like,
feel
why are
so
you
happy, and I'm not happy.
happy? Like,
Yeah, how are you happy? Why are you like? How do I get there?
yeah.
So it's like that's going to happen because you're supposed to help them,
Hmm.
but it's like that's why boundaries are important because while you're helping them, whatever you do, you have to have that boundary set. So it's like, yeah, I'll help you, but in order for me to help you, there's a boundary set. You got to pay me, or you got to whatever it is, you know, that you do in your spiritual. You know, you got to come to my class.
Hmm.
You know, you got to, you know, whatever it is for them to get a piece of your energy, because it's basically you've done all of this work to get your energy to a certain level, and they want a piece of your energy. So in order for them to get a piece of your energy, your boundary has to be, okay, I got a class, you can get a piece of my energy, or I sell readings, you can get a piece of my energy, or, you know, whatever. Like they can't just come and get the energy that you work blood, sweat, and tears to build yourself up to for free.
And you know, I got a question for you, so I'm not going to ask it. So, how do you like? How often do you read for people that like you do not know, like you've just met, or not necessarily how often? I won't say that. It's more because that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is how do you deal with people like reading for people that you've like never met before at all? Like they just saw you and they see that you do readings and they signed up and da da da.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you navigate that? Like, because I'm so new to like being open about
Mm-hmm.
this, so it's like I've only read for people that
That
I
you know.
know. So I'm just like I don't even know how I would handle like somebody I don't know.
So,
Like,
so it's actually twofold on that because um and I'll explain. So first of all, when I get someone I don't know, it's almost a an advantage because they come to you not knowing who you are, you know, in a sense. Obviously, they've been pulled to you, you know, energetically or spiritually. They've been pulled to you for a reason because you have something for them. You know, you have a message or whatever. You have a reading, whatever for them. Um, but because they don't know you, they don't really have any like perceptions about what you're saying to them, and they'll actually probably receive it a lot better. So on their end, it's a good thing. On my end, that's why I actually read a little. Sometimes I'll do the reading beforehand
mhm.
because then I get to know who they are, and then I'm tapping
Mm.
into their energy. So it's not like I'm like it's just a stranger situation. And for me, it's exciting because I don't know this person, and I get to like look into what's going on and you know deliver a message. Where sometimes it gets a little bit tricky is when it's people that I actually know, like maybe a family member or a friend that I've known for a long time, and I have to give them a reading. Sometimes they can't separate the fact that I'm going into guru mode. Like I'm like connected with my higher self, and like now the things that are coming out of my mouth is coming from a spiritual place. This isn't Justin
Yeah.
speaking anymore. So sometimes they think like, oh, they'll get the message, they'll get it, but it's like sometimes they're like, oh, that's just Justin, he I appreciate but it's not really sinking in enough sometimes, because what I notice is that when I give readings to a stranger, because they're able to receive it, their life starts changing. And
Mm,
sometimes it takes a minute for people that I know. It takes a minute for it to sink in, because they're still looking at it like, oh, this is Justin that I know, that
yeah.
that they know that I'm spiritual, but like when I really get into like reading and like really in my spiritual connected bag, I don't think, sometimes they don't, unless they are like spiritually connected, sometimes they don't really understand the fact that this is it's not my personality,
Yeah.
this isn't my ego anymore. Like that's something that I find myself in readers having to like break down their ego a little bit before I give them the message. Like,
Mm,
let me tell you some shit that there's no way I would know. Or let me dig a little bit deeper, because there's no way I would know this. Hold on, let me tell you this, just so you can, like put down your ego a little bit, and then you can receive what I'm giving you. Because if you don't receive it, it's not gonna make any changes in your life.
mm. I see that.
So yeah, long story to answer that
Good. I like
question.
it. I'm here for it.
And you do it naturally. Like I always be telling you this, like you do it naturally, like when we do it
Oh.
here. And even when you pull cards from me, like when you pull a card, like you're the card queen. I'm sorry, I don't care. You pull a card and it just like spits out. Like you got like 1,000 different decks, and you
Yeah.
pull a card from a deck, and then you like, and it just
Yeah.
like spits out. So it's
It's like
like,
one of those things. I feel like if you have the gift of divination, like that is a gift to
hmm
have,
hmm
and that's part of your craft, and that's part of your practice, like
hmm
that's part of my practice. Like I very early on, I was super drawn in. As soon as I started my spiritual journey, I was really drawn to tarot cards and
hmm
oracle, like the card. I don't know what to call it, but the art of divination via like the tarot and oracle.
Yep.
So every day like has a different energy for me. Like
Mm.
if someone is asking like for a reading, I'm like, okay, what kind of questions do you have, or what do you want to talk about? So then I'll know what deck to pull out, or
Right.
I might
Oh
be in
yeah,
the
yeah,
middle of
yeah.
it, like, oh, okay, I think I should pull from this deck. And some of the decks I outgrew, and they served their purpose, and I donated them to like a spiritual store. I'll donate
hmm
them.
hmm
Um, yeah, because there was one tarot deck that I could not get G with because I was too new. I was too new. I will never forget this. It was called the Spellcaster's Tarot. And if
Hmm.
you know anything about tarot, like there's like a basic foundation. So
Right.
like air
hmm
element is symbolized by swords.
Yep.
The fire element is symbolized by the wands, but
Yep.
and the cups is water, and the earth is the pentacles. But in this particular deck, it was flipped around, like the fire element was represented by the swords, and the air element was represented by the wands. I kid you not, that is what it was. And I was like,
Interesting.
the, the the imagery was beautiful. So had I been a little bit more developed, I would just use it for the imagery
Right.
and that's it.
Right.
But
Right.
because I'm so new to tarot, I couldn't get jiggy with that. I was
Mm.
like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't understand. This is confusing because every
Yeah.
other deck that I've ever used and anybody that I watch on YouTube, swords is air.
Right.
So I was just like,
Right.
I ended up donating it. I wish I would have kept it because now that I'm a
Now you
lot
can tap
more,
into
yeah,
it.
my little bit more developed, especially
Right.
when it comes
Right.
to symbolism on these cards. Like
Right. Right.
the imagery of it was beautiful. But yeah, I
Yep.
love it. I love tarot.
Yeah.
It's a guiding
Yeah.
tool.
Tarot is interesting. Tarot is very interesting. And it's funny because we kind of on the opposite ends. Like you started in tarot and I started in oracle,
Oh,
and we kind of like coming over onto, because now I'm getting into like the tarot more, and you're
mhm.
getting it more into like
The oracle.
the oracle.
Remember,
It's
I think
funny.
I told you this. I forget her name. She's on Instagram. I can't think of her name right now. It escapes me, but she put something out there like on her page. If I find it, I'll send it to you. But she was talking about how like the tarot, because of the shift in the planet and everything that's going
hmm
on as far as like elevating, she was like oracle cards is more like a matches like with the shift of the planet or whatever, and tarot is more like for 3D stuff. And I'm like, well, I can see that because when you do a tarot reading, a lot of times if you even see a reader and they have all the cards, the tarot is like used to figure out to help you with your next steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what can you do what can you do on the practical end?
Yeah.
Like with every day. And I was like, well, yeah, well, I mean, you can still use it. Even though the world is shifting, we're still in
Right.
it. I mean, not
Yes.
when I say in it, I mean like we're living here.
Exactly. Exactly. We're in
Tarot
this
can still
dimension.
be used and can still help you.
Well, with that being said, I guess we'll open up the doors to actually pull cards for people. So
Yeah.
if y'all have any questions, y'all know how this goes. If you have any questions, you need some clarity on anything, or we can pull for the collective, type it in the chat and we will or if you have any issues with boundaries
Yeah.
or you want clarity with boundaries.
While we waiting and why that's getting set up, I was prompted to share this earlier. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I might as well. So remember how we were talking about like my inner chatter, my mind thing or whatever. So like another thing that I do is I found it very helpful. So if anybody is dealing with where they feel like they are judging somebody, like, and when I say judge, I mean exactly what it means. Like, you see somebody doing something or they say something and you kind of go into judgment mode. One of the things that I've done now is I say, as soon as I feel myself being judgmental, I go, not my business. And it's like I turn my head, like, it's so funny. I literally like, not my business. And it changes everything. Like, that is so helpful because it has impacted how I would like move forward with, maybe I got to deal with the person. Maybe I seen them in line and they done did some shit that I was like, oh my God, I would never. And I'm like, not my business. But then I end up talking to them and it's just like, okay, all right, what? How you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because I know people who are very judgmental too. So I say it because I'm like, you can probably have better days, like experiences with people and life in general, if you just be like, not my business. Like,
Judgmental about it. Yeah. Let me I need to grab my charger really quick. I feel like this happens every time.
oh, I didn't even look at my charger where I'm at. Oh, I'm doing good with the battery life. All right.
I just got the little notification. Your battery about to die, nigga.
Let's see anybody. Not yet. Yeah, she's laughing. What y'all laughing? I'm just now seeing the laughing faces.
All right, let's get into this card pool. Yeah, that's funny that you asked that. I remember this was like my first that you asked it about. When you're reading people that you don't know. I remember I had a friend that she was a friend. That we knew each other before I started my spiritual journey. And I had started traveling and really getting in my bag, and then I came and we kind of like reconvened. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're doing readings now. I want to reading. I want to reading." And I could tell, like, I knew my spirit already kind of told me, like, she just want to test you to see if like you really about that life. My spirit had already told me that, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. And like I gave her the reading. I started like pulling the cards and like digging into it. And then like some stuff came up about, without like going too much into the reading, like some stuff came up about like her mom that she needed to deal with. And she started getting really, really angry. And she was just like, why are you talking about this with me? Like, why are you trying to do this therapy session and all kind of stuff? Like, you told me what it was, and why are you going into this? I was like, you wanted a reading, right? This is what's coming up for you. So it's like her ego like instantly came up. Like she thought that I wasn't really about this life because she knew me before I started,
Yeah.
pulling cards and stuff. So when I actually like went into it and it started coming out, like her ego came up and was like
Yeah.
really, really, really resistant. And I it kind of threw me off a little bit. I did handle it well. You know, I was like, well, if you chose not to move forward, we won't move forward. You know, I'm not gonna force you. But you know, I really, really like felt some type of way after that. But that like really let me know that was like the first time that actually happened to me of how people's when you start digging into their energy like that and really digging into stuff that they need to deal with, their egos can really come up and like they'll get angry
Yeah.
with you. You know,
Yes,
like
but
she
that's
was.
one of the things why reading for people that you know and like family and friends is that's one of the tricky things about it
Yep.
because stuff is gonna come out, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had situations like that where things come out where I didn't really know what was going on, and it turned out to be some shit. Like, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like it came out in the reading, you know. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and that's kind of like where I struggle too, because I'm like, well, I know I mean, what's going to be shown is going to be shown. It's like, how do I deliver? That's the part. Like,
Yep.
how do I deliver?
Exactly.
And you know, when they don't even know that they ain't talked to me at all about this situation, but it came up in the reading, so I'm like,
Like, damn,
how do
I
I
didn't even
do this? Like,
notice. Yeah, and, you know, like even situations where you know there was a couple, you know, that I knew, and I was friends with both of them, and they're like, "Oh, pull a card for us," and then like the deception card came up, like that, which basically means one of y'all is
oh,
cheating, and I'm just sitting there like, "Oh, let's not do this."
oh my God. Yeah,
And you know, eventually that did come out, but I was just like,
yeah,
I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore. So it's like I've had to learn how to discern like a motherfucker. With especially when people are just like asking me like, oh, can you just like it's fun, like it's funny or some shit. Oh, just
yeah.
pull a card for me. You know,
It's
that
not.
seems
Yeah,
like no sis, like this is real. Like
yeah,
yeah, if I pull out some shit and you crying for the next 3 weeks and you go into a whole depression because you
yeah,
wasn't ready to hear that, like no, no.
yeah.
So yeah,
And I always,
it's
and one of my things that I always advise too is like I'm not here to try to like, I'm not gonna read you your future. I'm here to help you heal and provide guidance. So if you want to be rich, well, this is what has to happen, like XYZ. I'm not gonna tell you like when I don't read like that. Like I really want to help you on a
exactly,
soul level, you know? So it's
exactly,
like I'm not here for the shits and giggles. Like
exactly.
yeah.
I ain't know what they call it, a soothsayer. That ain't what the fuck I do. I do this for
Right.
real.
Oh,
Like you
yes,
got
it
to do the
said, do
work.
I have any messages from
Messages from
spirit?
spirit. All right, yeah. Speaking of that, yes, jump right in and like, all right, give it to me. All right, yes. Let's see what you got. What we got for Miss Yes? That dropped that hardcore record. I mean, yes, that fucking song. God for this, baby. Right, you Queen Cody, you jumped right in. Speaking of the reader. All right, what we got for Yes? Message from Spirit. What does Jazz need to know at this moment? Okay.
Okay. These are cards. Okay, yes. So I'm drawn. I'm gonna talk about the two cards that jumped out, but I am drawn to the card that's on the bottom of the deck. And so you see this card here. It says it's a seven of wands. But what I love about this card is giving me protect my energy
Mm,
vibes. So you see how like she's encasing this bubble and these freaking wands are not penetrating. So it's kind of like overall messages to definitely be concerned with like protecting your energy, like
mm,
protecting your bubble.
Speaking of boundaries.
stay in your bubble. And it's like for us to be talking about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the other two cards that pop out. I'm looking at them because it's like a message here that I see. So it was this card that popped. These are the two cards that popped out. It's the Three of Swords and the Page of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm feeling with this is that whatever like disappointment that you had, something that made you mad, something that like, I don't know, pissed you off, hurt your feelings, throw that shit to the wayside. Like you see how on this card, like it's kind of like tossing a baton in the air, like just free flowing. And when you look at this card here about protecting your energy, it's like take whatever that pissed you off, annoyed you, bothered you, and give it to the wind. Like throw it to the wind. Like don't let it bother you. You too high vibrational for that
Yes.
shit. Like that's
Yes.
basically what I heard. That is
Yes.
exactly what I heard.
Yes.
So that was
Okay.
the message that came through for me to you.
And you know what? Yes, it's funny because she said this has been her message all weekend. She's been trying to trust people with my music. Ooh, listen, Yaz. Let me tell you, because as soon as you said that, I heard it. I heard about your music. I heard about your music. So this is what came up for you. So this is one of the cards that I actually created in the deck, but it's the Tiger card. The Tiger is all about like strength and courage, standing alone. The Tiger is one of the big cats that it doesn't it doesn't have a pride. Like lions have a pride, cheetahs have a pride. The Tiger stands alone. So with that card came feeling alone. So it's basically a dedicated effort. So basically, what it's telling me is that this journey that you're going on, and like I said, I heard it was about your music. It's one of those things that your power is coming instead is not standing alone, but it's like I can see the tiger going on a journey, but he's leading. Like he's not listening to other people on what he should do on that journey. It's like it's a strong, and I said he, so I guess it's a masculine energy. There is it's a power in taking this journey based off of your your feeling, like what you feel, and taking that journey, even though you may feel alone. There's like, as you can see, she has a lighthouse, and then the moon is up here, like she's following the path, like going towards the moon. There's a light like directing her. So even though you may be feeling alone and like you might doubt yourself, like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing it right, I need this person and that person. No, yes, you will be working with people. There will be people that will assist you, but you're the queen of that kingdom. You're the one that has to direct and say, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, I need you to do that. You here to help me with the beat, or you here to help me with switching up the lyrics, or whatever you basically, whatever you want to do, that's what needs to be had. Don't let fear of doing this or leading this by yourself hold you back, because as you can see with the other card, dedicated effort, you're painting a picture with your music. You're making a mural with your music. And as you can see in all of these cards, they're alone. They're by themselves. Like there's nobody there telling them what to do. So getting back to that tiger energy, that power, all your strength and power with what you're doing right now, and it seems like it's with your music, comes in you standing alone and doing that.
Yeah, and see, because she goes, that makes so much sense now because I started to hold
Yes.
myself back thinking I needed a team. And look at this. We're ain't
Yes.
no team. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, she is unbothered and doing, and like he said, like, doing it on your own is what's best. And like, look at her. Yeah.
Yes. 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 I got to lead my journey. Yes. That's when the assistance will come. The team will come when you lead. When you start taking the first steps, then the team will come to support
Yeah.
you. You don't need the team to help you do what you already got.
So,
All right. Who next?
I
I
think
think
Talia. Oh, wait.
Talia. Yeah. Talia.
Oh, no. Miriam says, what does Spirit? I hope I'm saying the name right. What does Spirit have for me today? And I'm good with being read to film. Do you see it? It was right after Yaz.
Oh, was she first or Talia? Oh yeah, no, yeah, Talia was after. Okay, yeah. So Armani. I keep wanting to call
Amani.
you
That's why
Armani.
I was like, I thought you would
Armani.
say Amani before to that name, but
Oh,
it don't say it right there. So I'm
yeah,
like,
she's Miriam up in here.
I remember the face, like her picture. So when you were saying
Yeah.
Amani last time, I was like, oh yeah, but then I saw a different name. I was like, maybe I'm tripping.
All
Okay,
right, Armani, we
what does
got
spirit
you.
have for me today? Okay.
And then we got you, Talia. You're very welcome. Yes, you got this, girl. The way you came on that track, child, please. Cody said it's the ASMR shuffle for me. Cody, you are hilarious. Yeah, Cody, you had a powerful reading. Ooh, child. All right, I might. Okay. Let's see this for Armani. Okay. Okay. Armani, wait a minute.
Okay, Amani. Well, okay, so the card on the don't be laughing. Just don't be looking like that. Okay,
Because
so
I'm like, wait a minute.
right, yeah, 'cause it's kind of like so. I feel like there's something plaguing you, like making you kind of tussle with like low vibrational energy as far as like your mentality and how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I have right now on the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords, and so
Mm.
when you look at this card, you can see she's super worried about something, like up at night. Like there's a pillow and a bed, and then all these like crows up here. So it's something that's on your mind that is like plaguing you, like maybe giving you a rough night with sleeping or focusing on something. And then we have the Five of Pentacles here. This is the card where you can make a choice to like get up and go into this door. You see this person looks like clearly they feel sad and left out in the cold, but look, there's the key to the door to go inside. So
Mm.
you kind of just have to pull yourself like out of it as best as you can, and to get that key and go into that door. Get that key and go into that warmth house on the inside.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
You got more?
yeah. I was just looking at it because I was trying to see what it was. I was so focused. It's like I can feel it. It's like it's in my body. Like so, I'm feeling the energy of feeling like left out, kind of like alone, but alone in the sense of not being understood. Kind of
Mm.
thing. Um, and so you got this Knight of Swords, and you see how this Knight of Swords is chasing after the bike. It's kind of like whatever it is that you're chasing for is going. It's like it's running away from you. But it was in
Mm.
reverse. This card was in
Mm.
reverse. So to me, reversals are just like the opposite energy,
Yeah.
or so it's not far away from you. It's actually right there. So that ties back into opening this door to go inside, get that key and walk into that door and go inside, and be with the people, be whatever that you want, whatever that is for you on the other side of the door. You have the will to do it. You just got to
Mm-hmm.
find the courage to get
Mm.
up and go do that. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sending so much love right now to you, like really from my heart, because I can feel this. So
All right, Armani. So I got a few things for you actually. And the reason why I was looking like I'm going to talk about this first, and we're going to talk. We'll get into that. The first card that came up for you was the skunk. The skunk, and it came reverse. The skunk deals with reputation. So basically, what it's giving me, and because it came reverse, is like whatever you're working through, you're putting your focus too much on the reputation of. It's too much focus on what other people think when it needs to be really the focus on what you are bringing to the table. Because you also got in right side up, you got take the lead. So there's something, and like as you can see, it's like holding a ball of fire. So there's something that you need to like take action on, take the lead on, and use your, because I know you're an Aries and a fire too. Actually take the lead on and not necessarily worry too much about the reputation. One thing about the skunk is when it's right side up, everybody knows you don't fuck with a skunk or your ass gonna get sprayed with that stank ass fucking whatever that shit they spray, and your ass is you're done. You're done. So everybody has a respect for the skunk, but it's because the skunk respects itself. The manifestation of the skunk is that self-respect, and that manifested as it using that stench. When anything messes with it, it puts a stench on them that is so potent that they can't, like, it fucks up their nose, their senses so bad that they're like, okay, I can't deal with the skunk. I know I need to respect it. And one thing about skunks is when you deal with them gently and when you deal with them with love, they won't bother you. Like they're like these little playful cats. But if you fuck with them, they're gonna spray a stench on your ass and you ain't gonna be able to get that shit off for like weeks. So, but the fact that it came in reverse means that you need to get back to your reputation of having that self-respect to yourself and take the lead in whatever you're feeling, and you're worrying about the reputation, you're worrying about what other people's thinking. You need to like take the lead and not worry about what other people think and move forward. Now, also the card Just Breathe came up. So breathing will help you. Getting outside and breathing, taking a breath before you it's something about that fire energy is like wanting to like shoot everywhere. Like you need to like take a breath. Now, something else that came up for you, because it's a little bit imbalanced. Like once you get imbalanced, you got some kind of like love energy. You got this, and you also got the Queen of Cups. So I don't know. Somebody may be like somebody may be crushing on you in your energy, or like there may be some type of love interest around you. But it came in reverse. Also, the Queen of Cups came in reverse. So it lets me know that something like your emotions are also imbalanced. But bringing them right side up, the Queen of Cups, like she's the Queen of Cups is like solid in her power, feminine power as a woman. She knows how to use her emotions to get where she needs to go. She's the queen of her emotions. So bringing that right side up, and maybe this is self-love. Going back to the skunk, there could be some type of love interest around, but it could also be self-love that you need to like tap into with yourself. But with that Queen of Cups in reverse, I'm going to read it. It says exaggerated sensuality, illogical consideration, unnecessary sacrifice, arrogance and conceit, self-indulgence, self-deception, hesitation. So yeah, whatever you're going through, let me put the cards down real quick and channel, because I'm wanting to send you so much love in this situation. I want you to breathe. Because I mean, look what I just had to do. I want you to breathe more. I want you to take more moments when you get in this space of like getting caught up in what everybody else is saying or doing. I want you to breathe. I want you to get away by yourself and just start taking breaths and get reconnected with yourself. All of your power, all of your feminine power, all of that emotion, which is also like, it's like a fiery emotion. That is a power that you have to connect with. Don't let other people poke you to the point where you lose connection to your own power and then they use it. So you get connected with your power. You begin to breathe more. You begin to take moments with yourself. so that when you get right within yourself, this goes back to boundaries. When you get right within yourself and set the boundaries for yourself and have self-respect for yourself, they're gonna look at you like the skunk, like, how you doing, Amani? How you good? Okay, yeah, yeah. Before they think about fucking with you, they gonna say, well, no, we not going. No, we don't want to get sprayed and be fucked up for the next 2 weeks.
So, I I have some more information that I want to give to Amani, but I have to go. Like,
Oh, you gotta go. Okay.
it's about 5 o'clock. But if you keep going, because I have to get off. If
Okay.
there's any more questions, please they can
Okay.
DM me or text me or whatever, and I will answer the questions. I don't want to like drop it off because I know there's I'm being prompted to like pull some guidance for Amani. I just can't do it right now. So
Mm.
Amani, I will send that message to you. And if you come across any more like people asking for questions, Justin, send it to me, and I'll do my
You
part
put
as
it.
well. Yeah.
Okay. I think Talia was the only one I'll put for Talia. I'll let you go and then I'll put for Talia.
Okay. And then Talia, I will send my message to you. I'll tap in, and I'll do it when I get home. I'll tap in for you and Amani and anybody else that comes on. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go.
All right,
All
but
right. I
yeah,
love
we
you.
have been over here a little
Y'all.
bit.
Talk to you later.
All right, cool. All right, Talia, I'm gonna pull for you. I'm gonna hold down the fort and I'm gonna pull for you to see what messages you got. But yeah, Amani, you got it, sis. You got all that power. You just gotta learn how to use it. People trying to use your power. That's why they poking at you. At work, I have to deal with the nonsense. Yeah, yeah. It's just showing you your power, Amani. You gotta change your perspective on it. They're poking at you because you're so you can learn your power. Yeah. If you wasn't nobody, they wouldn't even give you the time of the day. All right, Talia. What we got for Talia? And you are very welcome, Armani. Yep, you tend to not breathe. That shit is important. Okay. What we got for Miss Talia? Okay, Talia. So the first card I got for you is the bat. So the bat deals with rebirth. And then the other two cards I got for you is I got heal and also the 10 of Pentacles. So first of all, the bat is one of those animals that they sleep upside down. And it basically talks about you're going through a new phase. So you're things may seem upside down right now because you had a financial situation and healing came up. So if we right side this up, the 10 of Pentacles is all about money, tradition, comfort, wealth, success, safety, stability. But it came in reverse, so it says financial loss, burden, internal family issues, family deaths, financial reconstruction. So basically, what I'm getting for you is that it may seem like your life or maybe a certain situation in your life is upside down right now, but because it's the bat is actually right side up because the bat sleeps upside down. It sees things from a different perspective. The bat communicates with sound. They're like basically blind, but it communicates with sound. So basically what it's telling me, even though they came upside down, um, I'm gonna right side them up by you using more of your spiritual power because bats can't see but they can hear. Bats sleep upside down, so they kind of do everything on the opposite end. So instead of you using these two eyes, you need to start, maybe there's some type of clairsentience. Maybe you're hearing something. Maybe you're starting to like hear things from spirit or hear things that maybe may not aligned with actually what's physically showing up in your life right now, you need to listen to that. You need to listen to whatever is whatever spirit is telling you. Listen to that over what you actually physically see, because what you physically see right now is upside down. It's not the truth of what's actually happening. You're going through, you're breaking some type of chain, some type of like, I heard generational curse, some type of like generational curse is being broken right now, and maybe it is attached to money, maybe it's attached to it says tradition, comfort, lineage, happiness, legacy, trust. Yeah, this is some type of generational curse that you're breaking. It has something to do with your ancestry, your lineage. It's something that's been happening over and over and over, and it's breaking now with you. But the only way you're gonna be able to catch it right now is you gotta tap into yourself spiritually. It's not gonna look like what you think it's gonna look like. The only way you're gonna understand it is if you tap into your spiritual self, because it even reminds me of, like, they always say spirit is like the opposite of the physical, and it's like a mirror of the physical existence. So whatever you're going through in the spirit world is actually the opposite. That's what you need to tap into. You got to tap into what's happening in your life on the opposite side of things, in the spirit realm. And once you like really connect with that, then that will come into the physical realm. So in the spirit realm, you rich. If you look at the Ten of Pentacles, like, there are gold coins all around. Like there's like this wise man. There's this couple right here. Like, everybody's like happy. There's like foliage all around these two dogs. Like, it's like a family. It's like a family, and they're like abundant. So it's giving. Hold on, I'm hearing some stuff. It's giving that you, you're the one that's bringing or breaking. Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, definitely time for you to do your work. You definitely got to tap into your clair audience. You got to tap into your clair audience. It's something being spoken to you or said to you. Also, when people talk to you, when people say something to you, you got to hear it with a spiritual ear. Um, Sometimes people are saying stuff and it's not, you like, that don't really make sense. It's because you can hear what they're really saying, what their intention is, what their energy is. In their mouth, they may be saying blue, but their energy is saying red. And you feel the red, but you just like, okay, they said blue, but like, you gotta like tap into that clear audience, because you're hearing stuff, you're already connected to it. You just gotta start you gotta start believing it more, maybe. Hold on, because now I'm hearing stuff. See, that happened with two people today. Um, yeah, the fact I'm hearing stuff. That's how I know this is you, because now I'm hearing stuff. Um, Let me pull another card. Hold on, Talia. I don't know. Maybe you got some. Maybe you got, because this also, it has to do with your family. It has to do with your lineage. So it's maybe you got an ancestor around you. Um, Yeah, you got the Knight of Swords. Yeah, you got to get out of your head. You overthinking it. Presumptuous, impulsiveness, quarrels, bossiness, blind faith, discreet thinking, oppressive, violent. Yeah, you got to get out of your head, boo. You overthinking. You overthinking. You're connected to it. You're going through a change. You're connected to it. You already know it's T, but it has to be one of those things where you got to listen to it and not try to intellectualize it. Yeah, don't overthink it. Listen, hear. That's the thing I keep hearing for you is to hear. Listen, you got to listen. Try the exercise of speaking less. I used to do speaking fast, where for like 2 or 3 days I wouldn't speak. Like if I would go to the grocery store or whatever, and they talk to me, I'll just be like, they'd think like something wrong with my tooth or something. But just practice the exercise. But I start hearing so much shit and seeing so much shit way differently because I wasn't speaking. I wasn't using my mouth. I was listening. It gave me a chance to stop because I love to speak. I love to fucking, as you can see, I love to talk. So that exercise of like speak fasting. I don't know what's the name they call it. It's a name for it, but it's basically you fast from talking. Try that for like a day or two so you can like tap into your clear audience. Yeah, yes, that shit is interesting. When you fast from speaking, it's very, very interesting. Because I don't know if y'all have ever done a food fast, but when you stop fasting from food, you really start like tapping into your body and like understanding like where things are wrong in your body and that you need to elevate with as far as your eating habits. So yeah, totally. Yeah, the frequency is fast. Yeah, and you be in your head a lot. Yeah, you gotta get one thing that Coney. Shout out to Coney. She created an affirmation out of my head and into my heart, out of my head into my heart, out of my head into my heart. I would encourage you to use that. I've been using it. It's really, really powerful. When you start overthinking, just start saying that out of my head into my heart, out of my head into my heart. You got to get more into your out of your head, basically, and more into your feeling. The feeling is where all of your spiritual connection is. I've been learning that a lot lately too. Like the spiritual connection, you feel things, even when before you think, you feel it, and that's the truth. What you feel is the truth. So, all right, Connie, I got you. Or Jade, I got you, Jade. Yeah, Talia, do that fast, do that speaking fast, and start getting into your fit. Yes, out of the abundance, the heart speaks. Yes, sis. Yes. Get into that heart space. And in that heart space, you're hearing. You're gonna start now that I've made it aware, now that it's come out of me to give to you from you, you're really gonna start hearing now. So just pay attention. Just pay attention to that. All right. So, Jade, I got you. You came through the Tonys, but it's Jade. All right. Yes, fast February. Yes, I like that. Okay. I'm gonna do it with you. I'm gonna do it with you. How about that? I'll do a speak fast with you, Talia. I'll support you, and I'll tap into my Claire audience even better. I'll do it with you. Let me know. Let me know. You got my number. Let me know when you're gonna do it. I'll do it with you. And that'll make it even more powerful. When two or more come together in my name, you already know. All right, Jade. What was the March? What's happening in March? Okay, for Jade. Ooh. Okay, wait a minute. Ooh, shit. Okay, they just coming back to back. Ooh, Jade. Okay. Okay, Yazzie Fresh. I like that. Mm. Mm. Okay. 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 Ooh. Okay. All right, Jade. For March. Um, not really sure why you jumping to March because you still got February, but I got you. So the first card that came, all of your cards came right side up. The first card came from you is Snake. So you're about to go through, and March is going to be a month of transformation and transmutation for you. Shedding of old skin, One thing that it talks about in the snake totem is how to transmute poisons. So as you know, like when you get bit by a snake, you have to actually take the snake venom as an as a, what do you call it? Not an antibody, but it's basically like to heal you. They have to make a serum out of the venom of that snake in order to heal you. So that's giving that in the month of March, you're going to start transmuting some of the things that happened to you, some of the low vibrational energies that you went through. You're going to start to transmute them, even though that it may have been externally, um, I don't want to even say bad, but low vibrational situations. You're going to learn how to transmute that into healing yourself. That snake energy is all about healing. Even with the doctors, I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to this. Like if you ever see a doctor's office, they have a sword and it's surrounded by two snakes. Like that's the symbol of healing. So you're gonna go through this transmutable healing stage in March. Right behind that card came the eagle. Eagle is straight spirit, like straight spiritual messages. Eagle is like that bird that like flies the highest in the sky. It's like they said the eagle flies like next to God. It speaks to God because it flies so high in the sky. It's like one of the biggest like birds, like the biggest, most powerful birds. So powerful spiritual messages are coming with your transformation. And then behind that came came the raven. The raven is all about magic. It's all about straight magic. Crows and ravens deal with how do I say this? I don't want to say black magic because we have such a bad connotation on what black magic is, but black magic meaning using basically our ancestral magic that is on the other side, almost like hoodoo and voodoo. Even though we have like a bad perspective of that energy, is really powerful because it's your ability to tap into the dark realm, the feminine realm, the universal realm, and work magic to bring into the physical. So I mean, this is very, 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 very powerful and heavy energy. Your March is going to be interesting. Behind that came the sacral chakra. So again, like more confirmation of transformation, like creativity. I'm listening for the sacral chakra. There's something about your creative sexual energy. Maybe there's healing. Okay. All right, it's coming together. It's healing. So maybe what you're healing or transmuting has to deal something with your sacral chakra. And then you got the page of wands. So this is giving the rewards, good news and communication, initiative, extrovert, an important and exciting message, courage, optimism, leadership, enthusiastic, self-motivated, creative potential, inspiration. So the page of wands is it's one of those cards. It's a fiery card about moving forward. As you can see, like he's in. I don't know if you can see it because it's got this like iridescent thing, but like he's standing in this desert. But the desert is so small, and he's like he has this. He's working on his wand, his fire. He's getting ready to take a journey. Like the desert is way back there. He's embarking on a new journey with like this new power. So whatever you have been dealing with your sacral chakra, it's in March. You're gonna go through a lot. You're gonna go through a lot. It's gonna be very transformative. I want you to, no matter what you go through in March, no matter what it looks like, I want you to remember these cards because what you're going through spiritually is very, very what's the word I want to use? It's very not heavy, but it's very uh it's really powerful. It's like a really powerful energy that you're gonna go through. These are like very, very, very powerful cards. These three cards, and they came back to back. So just remember, whatever you're going through is gonna feel like very heavy. Not, I don't. I keep hearing heavy, but it's not giving heavy. It's just strong and like powerful and like forceful. So the healing, the spiritual messages, and the magic is gonna hit you like really, really hard. But I want you to remember that it's bringing you into a more powerful space because you're going into a new journey, like you're stepping into a new journey in a new space, and that's what March is going to prepare you for. Also, it's interesting because March is like that's the springtime, like that's really the time of the new year. So it's like you're preparing yourself for a new year that you're stepping into. So yeah, Jay, girl, I want to hear about that. You're gonna have to let me know because I'm now I want to be nosy. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be a very powerful month. So I want to hear about that. So I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer. This has been so much fun, and shout out to all of y'all in the chat for trusting us to give y'all these readings, listening to our rants, and us working through our own stuff that we have going on. And hopefully to see some of y'all. I know a lot of y'all are not going to be there, but hopefully to see some of y'all in the retreat. I don't know if we're going to do the yes, please. I need those updates, boo. I don't know if we're going to do one next week. We may have to rearrange it because I'm going to be driving up to the retreat on Thursday, so we probably won't do it on Thursday. So I don't know. We'll let you guys know. We'll keep you guys updated on that. But hopefully to see y'all there. It's gonna be fucking lit. And if I don't see y'all there, I will be seeing y'all somewhere else. So we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining the live. We love y'all, and I will see y'all next time. I don't know if it's next week, but next time. Love y'all. Peace.